We're live.
All right. So, everybody, welcome back. We're here again with another Xbox Party Chat podcast. It's me, Tim Wayne, and my boy Legend. We got some other guys. Hopefully, they'll come in, get the notification, and then come on in. But we got a lot to talk about today, people. Legend, are you there?
Yeah, what's up? What's good?
Not much, man. Like I said, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of things coming out in the next couple of weeks here. A lot of feedback that I've been getting and seeing, and wanted to know how you felt about it. I mean, that's why we're here to talk about games. That's what brings everybody together nowadays. So, uh, what are your thoughts about Anthem a week after you've played it?
Um, I don't know, man. I had this big grandioso rant that I had prepared, and kind of stashed away and saved in my head. But um,
I mean, well,
I
let it fly, brother. That's what we're here for.
I kind of let it go. I've come to the realization that you just got to let people. Um, how can I say? You got to let people experience these things for themselves. I
Right.
really felt like it's a problem with EA. I think we talked about it last time.
Mhm.
Um, there's this stigma that EA has about itself, and yes, do we agree with everything they do? No, but at the
No.
same time, we as gamers have to support some of these new experiences when they come out. So that's my stance. I mean, we could dive into it a little bit, once we give everybody a minute to jump in and see if they're going to jump in. But yeah, that's pretty much where I stand. Is just to kind of sum it up. I've enjoyed it since the I don't want to call it a demo because that's not what it was. It wasn't a beta. It was a demo. That's what it was. It was a demo. It was an exclusive invite into playing a demo or a certain build of the game. But I've enjoyed it now for I don't know how long it's been, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I
Mhm.
can't pinpoint the date that demo came out, but it's been a good experience for me personally. And I've got some other things I can chime in about it, but Coach just joined, so give him a shout out. He ain't been here in a minute. What's
Yeah,
good with
what's
you,
up?
Coach?
What's up? I'm in
Welcome
here,
back,
man.
coach. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? What's going on, man? So we're just covering covering some bases. I was telling Legend here that I've seen a lot of feedback on Anthem. I personally have kind of held off from it. One because I can't express how much I've really been enjoying Crackdown 3, but I have recently logged on and started playing Anthem, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Even though I'm not necessarily, I'm not at the same level as you guys are. You guys are way ahead of me as far as like leveling and stuff and the things that you've done. I believe one of you has beat the game, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so y'all have already mashed
Well,
through
we
the
both beat the
the
game.
the
It's just
story.
don't log on your story. If you know what I'm saying. We
Yeah.
was there
So
together.
right. Okay. So both of y'all have beat the game. I just started the game. Um, so what I would want to know here from your aspect is how do you feel about the game, even though there is a lot of negative sentiment within the gaming community out there in regards to Anthem.
Well, I
You
think
made some good points earlier when we was talking during the game.
who me?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I just think people gotta not be so just rigid about their games and this and that. They games, and the companies put out what they feel, is going to be a good game, and I personally think it's a good game. If you the type that you just want to cookie cutter game where you can just blow through it or whatever, Anthem not gonna be the game for you. But if you want a game where you're gonna actually explore and do some different things or whatever and take your time and play with your friends, Anthem is definitely one of those games. I mean, we've been talking about it and I've mentioned it a couple of times. Like, I think they intentionally did some stuff on the game to make you slow down, i.e. with the people talking with the conversations, because some of the conversations are long, you know. But then when you need to do stuff or you have to get stuff as far as harvest materials and stuff like that in the game, if you aren't careful, you'll just be flying all over the place and not even realize that you're passing up all your harvest materials or whatever. So I think they intentionally did that to make you kind of slow down and think about what it is that you're doing and how you're gonna build your javelin and how you're gonna progress in the story. So I like the game, and my whole situation is, I mean, I've kind of been like that with everything, movies, games, all of that. I mean, when people say it's bad, I kind of run to it, you know, because I want to see it for myself, and most of the
Right.
time it's not as bad as people said it was.
God damn it, fake news. Just say it, coach. We can
Right.
say it together, god
Yeah,
damn it.
it's
Fake
fake
news.
news. I mean, you just like Legend was saying, you know, he was saying a bunch of bad reviews about Crackdown. I love Crackdown. Crackdown is what it is. It's Crackdown. If you wanted something that was not Crackdown, you don't get Crackdown. You know what you're gonna do on Crackdown. You're gonna orb chase, you're gonna have big explosions, you're gonna beat people up, you know, so on
Yep.
and so forth. It's
Okay.
Crackdown.
It is what it is.
So
If I could just circle back to what Coach was saying about slowing down, I think the biggest problem with Anthem is it's the little brother of Mass Effect, right?
yeah.
You have this Mass Effect series that was super in depth, and is really one of the greatest games ever. In my
Mhm.
mind, one of the
Agreed.
greatest single player games ever.
It's in a lot of
And
people's top five.
right, right, but it was at a time, you know, uh, where they really didn't have the capability to connect people the way that we are connected now in video games. I mean, yeah, sure, you had multiplayer games then, but nothing like we have now. And if we take a look at Crackdown, I
Mhm.
distinctly remember playing cooperative and Crackdown and the original Crackdown. I was just blown away how you could get in the car with another agent and drive across the city flawlessly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
you go from that to where we are now, where you got four people playing at once in a game like Anthem that looks that beautiful, and even to the, to their credit, as beautiful as it is and as smooth as it runs, it still has its issues. But that I don't know how long it's been since Crackdown, the original Crackdown came out, but in my mind, that
Almost 10 years now.
that was the first time we really seen a unique experience like that work that well. And just to me, I mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm not being factual, I'm just saying in my experience that was the first time for me. So circling back to what I was saying, Mass Effect had this story, and I've heard a couple of videos where people talk about the expectation with BioWare is for Anthem to be Mass Effect esque. When I really sat back and thought about it, there's no way, right? How
Yeah.
can how can a choice I make in my game affect a choice that Coach makes in his game, Beware, or you, Tim Wayne, or Hawk Onyx, or Gamer, for how we all play differently. We all make
Right.
different choices. We all respond differently. So for I think that when they asked BioWare to implement that game mechanic into Anthem, I just don't see
It's
how
not
it
fit.
would. Yeah, it wouldn't fit. You're talking about a single player experience being forced into a multiplayer-esque experience, or like I call it a hybrid, right? It's not
Right.
fully a multiplayer, but it's a cooperative experience. But
Mhm.
I just don't get that. And it was, there was a couple of things that kind of irritated me about some of these comments, some of these videos I watched on YouTube. But again, the biggest problem I see with Anthem is it's really the little brother of Mass Effect. So Mass Effect's got the bar set way high,
Yeah.
and you've had all these releases by BioWare, and nothing has ever really stood to the test of time till of Mass Effect and KOTOR. Those two sit
Yeah.
at the peak, right? Would you agree? Baldur's
Dragon
Gate.
Age.
Baldur's
Dragon
Gate
Age.
is another game that sits up there high from BioWare. But everything has kind of teetered down when it comes to people's opinions about BioWare games. And I think that's the biggest problem. But I think we have to give, as gamers, we have to give these companies a chance to create these new experiences. Like I was telling, it was one of y'all earlier. I was just saying, I'm gonna share with the community. I could remember a time when I was a young kid wanting to have an experience I could share. If
Yeah,
you
that was
ever
when we was on.
remember, yeah,
Yeah.
you ever remember playing an RPG and you're like, damn, man, I wish I could play this with somebody. I distinctly remember playing Legends of Dragoon on the regular PlayStation. I'm like, damn, this game is epic, but only if you could share this with somebody. Well, that's where we are now in 2019. We have these shared experiences, and I think the way people are being critical of them is just a little bit. It's just a little bit much, man. I'm gonna get off my
Yeah.
soapbox.
Well, I
No,
know
you're good.
there was definitely some things that you had to get used to because we have been being fed this same type of experience though over the last couple of years. Like when you first get into Anthem and you are in a squad with with some guys, and you finish a mission and you go back to the fort and you're like, where is everybody? Because every other game that we've had, every other experience that we've had has been when you finish a mission, everybody's right there running around your place. You're running around their place. Like you can see everybody. You can see their suit and this and that or whatever.
Right, the
Or
divisions and the
yeah,
destinies of the world.
right. But now you get Anthem and it's like, okay, where did everybody go? So it's like some people might be on the whole like, because Anthem kind of forces you to kind of be in a single player game mode,
Right.
you know, outside of missions or whatever, which to me ain't all that bad because you kind of, again, you get to slow down and kind of focus on your conversations and what you need to be doing and this and that or whatever, which is going to help your forward progress and this and that. Just
Right.
kind of a little side note on that. We was talking about more of the fort opening up. I know we all know that it's gonna open up, but I got like a little clue today. Like when you go up them stairs behind that fountain, I was just kind of standing over there and I saw one of them magnifying glasses, and I'm like, where is that at? I can't get to it.
Right.
It's on the other side of that thing in front of so in between Brian and Commander Buell, them stairs that go up into that door that's blocked off right now. And I'm like, okay,
Right.
so this is going for sure open up. But yeah, but I think that's what people. So getting back to what I said, I think that's what kind of frustrates people a little bit is that
Mhm.
we've been fed this experience of you're constantly with your squad, and now in this game you're not. But I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I agree. I think the loading screens kind of
No
contribute to
doubt.
that, but
Mm-hmm.
um, I think what we're gonna see. Hopefully, I'm hoping um, that BioWare and EA will continue to support a game like this. I
Mhm.
think this is their first try at something like this. So
Yeah.
no one ever hits it out of the park on the first
Mm-hmm.
try. I mean, if you think back to, let's go all the way back. What was the first game that got that of this type of this on consoles. You think back to Destiny, and Tim Wayne, you can speak to how frustrated you were about
Yeah.
that game. But we were told kind of the same thing. They had like this 10-year plan with Destiny.
Yep.
They want to do all these things with it, and then they fixed it, and then they broke it again. Then they came out with Destiny 2. This is according to the media. They broke it again. Now here's Destiny 2, and now Destiny 2 is $19.99 brand new in Walmart. So it's just like there's a pattern here. You go back to Destiny. I mean, excuse me, the Division. We have a friend of the show that really is of a certain opinion about the Division. So we enjoyed it.
Right.
But they did some things wrong, and then they continued to support the game. And now here we are now. The Division 2 is coming out, and they've listened to the community. They've changed some things, and I think it's going to be good. But what I was telling Coach earlier is, I think what EA and BioWare did is they went and looked at the criticism from these two games and these two companies, and they took bits and pieces of criticism, and they said, okay, this is what we don't want to do, right? We don't want to. We want to create a game that our hardcore fans can play. We want to create a hardcore base, and we want to create just a casual gamer base.
Right.
And we want to give them this experience. And they tried to take pieces. When I look at the game, this is what I got. They try to take pieces from all segments of gaming, right? You had the what I call the Fortnite model now with the skins. They give you some skins for 2 days, and you got a special, and you can buy this, right? To continue to gain revenue, to give us more content, right? There's no PvP, which I think can be a good thing. So it's all story-based driven gameplay, which I think a lot of people ask for. We don't want to get in necessarily in a dark zone and have to compete for gear. Not everybody's about that. I mean, shit, the last time we played, we're getting melted by somebody, right? So, I mean,
YouTube for 4 hours afterwards
trying to figure out, let's get it figured out. Like with this game, we don't have to do it, right? You set the difficulty. They have like 2 or 3 tiers of difficulty, and then you just go in with your boys or some randos, and you just have an objective. You don't have to worry about somebody stealing your damn gear. So I think they hit it out the park with that. We have to, but as a community, we have to support these types of games, and those of us that support these types of games, we have to get out there and say it, and not let the news just be driven by all the negativity about something like this. Because if it continues, you'll see that what I call the Battlefront, the Battlefront 2, process where they just don't plan on making another Battlefront because all the bad pub. So, I mean, I don't know.
So here's what my take
Star
on
Wars
a lot
Battlefront.
Yeah. Remember it was a big deal. Everybody was so pumped about it. E3, they went out and played it, showed it.
I got my hand raised. I was pumped.
It looked great, and I was one of the ones that was like, I don't know, guys. They added story. They listened to the community.
Right.
EA's been doing good at that. They've been listening to the community. Community begged for story in Titanfall. We got Titanfall 2 with story. You got Battlefront with story, and then these. The media gets a hold of it day one, and it goes from the day before being the most anticipated to the day after. Like, this is terrible. This is horrible.
Right.
Like that's all I've seen here lately. And I don't know. Everything can't be God of War, guys.
Right.
Everything.
Tim Wayne, like, I don't mean to cut you off on that one. When you said Battlefront, that struck a chord with me because I look at myself as like a new Star Wars fan. Like, it wasn't until later on that I got into it, and I'm all about it though now. Like, I own every movie. I see every movie when it first comes out. I know when it's coming out, and so I didn't, because I wasn't a Star Wars fan like that back in the day, I missed those Star Wars games. So I didn't have those experiences. And so That being a new Star Wars fan, once Battlefront came out, I was like, "Oh my god! Now I get to play. I'm not just watching the movies. Now I get to play." Well, then it
Right.
was just it was just Battlefield with Star Wars, and I was like, "Okay, this is cool." The the um the air fights and stuff, that's cool. I really like that, but it got old to me. Battlefront 2 gave me some story and it was better, but for me where it was lacking just being a new Star Wars fan was I didn't get the opportunity to really make the story mine like you kind of do on the older games, which I went back and played, like The Force Awakens and The Force Awakens 2. Like that was
Right.
more so of my Star Wars game that I like. Battlefront was good, but I guess I have gotten to the point I don't really do those type of shooters like that anymore. And then now you just took Battlefield and smack Star Wars on top of it. It's cool.
Mm, they hit you with the tricks.
Right. And I was like, because for the most part, if you take out the 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 plane battles on Battlefront, I mean, you're just gonna be like you're on Battlefield. You're gonna be in the ground. You know what I'm saying? So, and then to be frustrating because if you don't play it enough and you're on there playing, and all of a sudden some dude comes through with Kylo Ren or Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker, and you're shooting, dumping hella bullets, and he just comes through and lightsabers everybody, and you're just like, okay, I'm going back to play Madden.
Right.
They
So,
hit you
So,
with the they
so
hit you with
let
the
me
reskin.
yeah,
let,
yeah,
let me ask this. Let me ask you this. In regards to the feedback and the blowback that we've gotten from Anthem, with uh, just so much negativity, what are some of the positive things that you like about the game so far? I can tell you from the way I look at it, a lot of people are comparing the game to Destiny. I don't necessarily look at it as Destiny. When I play the game, I think of more of a third person Borderlands, meaning there's a lot of stuff that you have to pay attention to, um, that you can overlook, that you can miss out on if you're not paying attention to everything that's going on around you. So staying in the air could actually hurt you,
hmm
um, rather than help you.
well,
So
I didn't
You,
mean to cut y'all.
no, so I just want to know, like, what are some of the things that you guys actually like in the game, because I don't see too many people. It's kind of, to me, it just feels like this game is like low hanging fruit, right? So for the
Yeah.
last couple of years, we've had EA put out a couple of titles that didn't necessarily knock it out the park. To what Legend was saying is that this was not the standard of BioWare and EA when it comes to making these types of games, making these games that are supposed to be story driven. So now there's a game that's story driven and people are still not feeling it. So what
Well,
what
yo,
do you like about
yeah.
the game?
So to your question about what is it that I personally like, I mean, outside of the visual graphics, I mean, I think it's a very beautiful game as far as the fortresses and the and then the verticality of it. You know what I'm saying? Like the map might not be big when you hit the start menu, but that's just the surface. Like just going through the story, and like I said, like you said earlier, we beat it. The story part today, or the original story part, you're finding places all the time that you haven't been, even though the map doesn't seem to be as big. But
Right.
you're either going down or you're going up. And you're like, okay, where did this place come from? I know the last couple of days we've been on together, and I know y'all have heard me say, "Oh, I've been here," and then I'm like, "Oh no, I haven't. I don't know where I'm at. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
as much as we have played this game since it's come out, uh, to me it's still hitting you with surprises and new places and this and that or whatever. So to answer your question, I just obviously the visuals is a real big thing for me, but then also just the horizontal and the vertical access of the game. Like it's not just once you leave the fort, you're on the ground and it expands out forever.
Right. Legend, would you like to add on to that?
Hell yeah, hell yeah. No, my bad, bro. I'm tripping. Um, I I think they executed, man. I gotta give them kudos. They took, an idea, and they said we want to give y'all mechanical suits, and y'all can fly around and get y'all guns and special abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're gonna take some assets from Need for Speed and let you paint your javelin the way you would like to paint it.
Right.
Right. And so I got to give them kudos. The feeling I get from Anthem is the same feeling I got from Titanfall, but a little
Oh.
better. All right. We
We
have
we
this.
went
And
ho-
this is not,
we
and
had
this is,
some we
mind
had
you, this
some
is not with
good
a PvP.
times. We had some
Oh,
really good times on that original Titanfall.
yeah. Yeah. No, this was okay, guys. We've been sitting back. We've been watching. We see y'all like, this is how it was with Titanfall. We see y'all playing, Call of Duty, Battlefield. We
Mm-hmm.
want to spice it up a little bit. I think that's what they tried to do here with Anthem. Like I said,
Okay.
they took ideas from other games that are like Anthem, and they said we want to give y'all something that you will enjoy. So I got to give them kudos for that. The way you can customize and paint your javelin is top tier for me. I don't think
Okay.
there's any other game that you can customize quite like that. You know what I mean? Paint your javelin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know you got
Mm-hmm.
shaders in Destiny, and I know you got clothes in the Division, but I gotta give them credit. The amount of color, the choice of color that you can do. You
Mm-hmm.
really truly are unique, and can't. I haven't seen another javelin that looks like mine. I don't know about you, Coach, but
No,
I
no, not
haven't,
at all.
and I
Okay.
think I know people complain about the story and the voice acting, but it goes
For
back to,
real?
yeah, I've seen some videos
That's
about
a
them
lot.
complaining
Yeah,
I
about it.
I've
Yeah,
seen
I
a
mean
lot
that was
about
one of
that.
the first things I did when I heard some of the voices. I'm like, man, I know this voice, and I went and I mean, like they have some people that have done some major things,
yeah, I agree.
They put a lot of
I
money into this game, man.
right?
I agree.
It's a lot of
Um,
money.
they make you slow down and interact with these people to have those moments like that voice sounds
Hmm.
familiar. And then
Right.
you find out it's somebody that you've seen in a TV show, you're like, damn, they really did, commit some time to it. But the way they make you slow down and have these conversations, yes, it doesn't affect the story,
Mm-hmm.
but they give you credit, towards unlocking tiers. I don't want to give too much away because, I want people to go out and experience the game for
Hmm.
themselves. But these
Sure.
conversations, you know, you can, answer the questions different types of ways, and we don't know just yet how it may affect you in the long term. It may or it may
Mm-hmm.
not. We just don't know. Just because it's not affecting you the same way Mass Effect affects you doesn't mean
Right.
it's not there. They have the capability to do it, but I like that aspect of the game. Um, and I'll just be honest. I want to get this out of the way. I do not. I have a problem with the loading screens. I do. I have a problem with the glitches. I
Hmm.
do.
Okay.
But when you take that away, that's really all I have a problem with. I understand it. I see where they were going. I'm appreciative. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to the first DLC. I haven't hit level 30, so I'm not in game yet, but I'm
Right.
getting there. I'm close. So
Okay.
there's some things I would like to see, but they're really nitpicky. And it's one of those things. The game's only a week old, right? Officially.
It's
So,
literally a week old.
I mean, we got to give it some time. I'll give it a couple of months, and we can maybe touch on it in the second or the third quarter. And we'll see where we are at that point. As of right now, like I said before, after seeing the E3 trailer, it still is my was my most anticipated, and I'm liking everything that I see. And as of right now, it is GOTY for me.
Game of the
Even
year.
with all the criticism.
Even with all the criticism, it's still game of the year for you.
Now,
Okay.
in a couple of weeks now, though, in a couple of weeks, my watch gonna turn orange, as Coach would say. So
Yes,
it's gonna be orange. It's gonna be orange.
yeah.
Okay. So I mean, we can kind of segue into some other things. I got some questions and some things I want to get from you guys in regards to just your opinions. We haven't really been able to chop it up on these on what I have to ask you offline, but moving away from Anthem, how do you guys feel about Microsoft taking their talents and going to the Nintendo Switch and bringing their software over to the Nintendo Switch?
I'm not a Switch owner, so I'll have to defer to you two on that.
Yeah.
I know, Tim Wayne, we have a bet, and trust me, I'm aware. I'm just, hoping I can convince my lovely wife to loan me about $100 so I can find me a Nintendo Switch for that fine price point. But I'll go ahead and chime and listen to you on that. But I'll go ahead and look it up and read some articles on it real quick while B Weezy's touching on it.
Man, I mean, for me, I think it's good because obviously, like he said, I'm a Switch owner myself. And so two of the three consoles that I own are gonna be crossplay or whatever it is. I'll be able to do my Xbox Live on all of it, on two of the three. So to me, I think it's big, and I think for them, it was big for them because they get an opportunity to reach more people with their service. So
here's how I feel about it. I think a lot of people are overlooking what's about to happen. I think now within the last, I have actively been playing on my Switch. I just haven't been online. But the way I do feel about it is that, I mean, if you're allowing me to sign in with my Microsoft account and you're allowing me to have the same features as I would if I were to turn my Xbox on, I think that's major. And I think a lot of people are overlooking this within the gaming industry. I don't think people realize, like, hey, like, I know we've had these discussions before, people, and I'll just go back and tell you, if you go back and you check throughout the history of our podcast, we do have an ongoing debate about, is PlayStation really the better selling console when you break it down outside of exclusives? I'm not going to speak for everybody.
That's a tough argument there.
I mean, it is. I'll give credit where credit's due. Their marketing is great. They released in more countries, I think, initially. So,
you talking about the PlayStation?
Yeah, the PlayStation. Sony, they do a great job in marketing.
Yeah, they got an advantage. They got a whole continent that doesn't even have an Xbox. So
right. I just wanted to cover and let people know that, the listeners and future listeners of this episode, to kind of just give them an update on where we stand in regards to the PlayStation and how things maneuver and work, with how we feel that they are moving and working with their systems and stuff. I personally feel that outside of exclusives, the PlayStation really doesn't have anything to offer to me, even with some of those exclusives. I'm not a big fan of the what is that game? The male Tomb Raider version of on the PlayStation.
Nathan Drake. Yeah,
Yeah,
Uncharted.
yeah. I'm not a fan of that. That's just that. So that's not going to
But
move
did
me.
but did you play it?
I did play it. I own three.
Oh,
I own
okay.
all three of the games outside of the one that
Fourth
came
one.
out last year.
I got you.
Um,
Bought it in a pawn
so
shop for $10. God damn it! What's up?
yeah,
Holla at
I
your
mean,
boy.
it is definitely on sale for $9.99. It
Yeah.
didn't move like they thought it was going to move, but I
It
mean, we can
did.
all agree. Did it?
It did. It did initially.
Yeah,
It
it
did
did.
initially. It
I
did.
mean,
Okay.
They,
I,
they,
I,
Well,
they make some good games. They make some good games. But to your
I'm not
point,
knocking it. I'm
they
not
they
knocking
play
it.
they're playing the catch up game. They're playing the catch up game. I was just reading it. It is a rumor that Xbox Live is going to be on the Switch. It's a rumor. So I mean, I I have to
I thought
wait
that
and
was
see.
confirmed. I
I
thought that
have to
was
wait and
confirmed.
see.
I
It says
believe.
it's a rumor 2 days ago.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously within
Hold
the
on.
last couple of weeks, you've been
No, no,
more
no. Polls find
solid
that
on it.
nearly 25% of players will buy a Switch if it featured Xbox games. This was 2 days ago. With rumors
So
pointing to Xbox Game Pass and other Xbox Live features possibly coming to Switch in the future. So, I mean,
listen. So that's where I was getting at. I think a lot of people are overlooking that. If this is to be true, that is big, big for Microsoft. And in regards of like, let's just keep it completely honest. I don't know if Beweezy has attempted to play online or try to start a chat with anybody or attempted to communicate with anybody outside or on the actual Nintendo Switch. But I have
negative.
had. Oh, okay. Well, I can speak for myself, and I've had a horrific time trying to.
But I didn't. And
they're using
you're
that
about to say you had.
1992.
Yeah, you're saying you had a horrific time. I looked at it from the jump. I was reading and I looked at the setup and I said, nah, I'm good. Like I wasn't even going there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If
Because
Go
I
ahead,
was
cause my bad.
my whole thing was okay. I'm only on Wi-Fi when I'm here at the crib. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only time I'm really
Right.
gonna be able to do all of that. Um,
Right.
and then it was gonna be a third service. Like I don't want to pay for a third service like that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. I
And like I
understand.
said, it just didn't seem like it. It didn't seem like that's something that they really want to do.
Can I? Let me jump
Okay.
in here. You know how I
Go
feel
ahead.
about
Go
that.
ahead.
The Switch. Let me just get it out there. Let me just refresh my statement like a politician. Listen, the Switch doesn't belong in the same conversation as PlayStation
No.
and Xbox. It is a hybrid console, meaning it is a handheld and a home console. You have the choice. It is a hybrid that it was not designed for a multiplayer experience
Right.
at first. But I think Nintendo's smart in partnering with Microsoft. If I was an executive at Nintendo, I would look at it like, are we really gonna mess with Sony? Microsoft is clearly the leader in their online features. It would make more
That's
business
what I was getting
sense
to.
if we
That
partner
is
with
exactly what I
them
was getting to. Yeah.
versus Sony, who struggles. I
Right.
mean, I don't know if it was a big deal, but they snuck the crossplay in with Rocket League. No, I mean, I didn't
That's
see any headlines about that anywhere. I was on Rocket League and somebody just told me, "Hey, I'm playing with one of my boys on PlayStation," and I'm saying, "What? When did they do that?" Everybody's been asking for
right.
crossplay with PlayStation, and you would think that would be a big headline somewhere. So
Right.
we
Right.
should
Most
see
definitely.
the cookies crumble. We should see those walls come down. We should be now hearing about people cross-playing on Fortnite and Call of Duty and all these other games, but you don't hear it
Yeah.
because I think their network is suspect. It's been suspect since the damn PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Home. But
Mhm.
that's a conversation for another day.
And
I just wanted to
That
drop
is true.
that.
you probably see that and like you said, with the network is probably able to do that with Rocket League because a lot of people do play it, but
Mhm.
the amount of traffic that you get on Call of Duty and Fortnite and all of that on them servers, oh, it would probably be a nightmare. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
See, here's why I think this is a big deal. Even though it is technically a rumor at this point, um, I think Legend made a very strong point. I mean, we could keep it all the way funky as much as people want to say that PlayStation is the better console, and in their opinion, when it comes to playing an online game, you cannot get better than the Xbox servers. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I know people don't want to hear that. I know it's not a popular statement, but it's true. I've had more
Shit.
issues playing online with my PlayStation than I have any other console, and
right.
that's including the Switch. So if Microsoft is powering up or is partnering up with the Switch to give people a better opportunity or a stronger opportunity to connect and play uh, online. I think that's a major win for Microsoft, and I think that we will see more partnerships with Microsoft if this actually goes well, which I think it is, because I think this says one of three things. One, Nintendo realizes, hey, we need to step our shit up. Sorry to curse. We need to step our game up in regards to this online gaming thing. Two, with this partnership, that's going to bring even more people that normally would play offline to play online. That would give them an opportunity to participate in more games. And three, I think I would hope, and it's Sony being Sony, so they probably wouldn't look at it like that, but I would definitely look at that and say, you know what, like, you know what, we might need to look into more, being more open to cross platforming and playing and being more and developing and making our systems more better for online gameplay, because to me they aren't. Now when you're playing Call of Duty, yeah, but that's one thing. But there's been tons of games that I've yet to connect online with, to play online with. I remember I got the Division for the PlayStation. I believe they gave it for PlayStation Now or Plus or whatever it is. And I tried to connect, and that was just abysmal. And I turned the game off.
Right.
You know, so
Let me touch on that.
go ahead, go ahead.
So first, let me touch like the Xbox and the PlayStation part of it with their networks. Like, you talking to, and I'm all of us have been PlayStation owners. Um, I was a PlayStation guy. That was
Yeah,
that was it.
me too.
I I would go over people's house, and when the GameCube was hot, my partner, that's all he played Madden on was the GameCube. But when I would go over,
Damn, that
people
controller
had
was ugly as fuck. My
right,
bad. Go ahead.
right. But when I would go over people's place, and they're like, "Yo, let's go play the game." I'm like, "All right." And we walk in the room, and they go that big old black box. I was like, "No, I can't play this. I can't play this, even
It
though it's
was
the
too
same
sweet.
game."
It was
I was just
sweet.
like, I'm like, I can't play this, man.
That
This
purple
this ain't
controller.
this ain't on PlayStation, man. No, I'm not even talking about the GameCube. I'm talking about the Xbox now. Like I used to be
Oh, you
like,
talking
bro, I
about the
can't.
the beast?
Yeah, I'm like, I
The
can't play
big
this
one,
Xbox. You know what I'm saying? So,
the
but when
big
I got
daddy.
into college, my thing, I wanted to, go into the next gen. The PlayStation was way too high at that time. So I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, I worked and I got that 360. So then I started working with that, that Xbox or whatever. But what I quickly found out once I got online, because that started my online deal, what I quickly found out was that just being able to do this, sit in a party and chat with your friends, was way more simpler on Xbox. And correct me if I'm wrong, it wasn't even available on the PlayStation at the time. The only thing you could do
No.
on
Yeah.
PlayStation at the time was just connect to play the game, and you could talk to each other throughout the game. But then once the game was over, the connection was severed.
Mm.
Right.
He's
It was
preaching.
yeah,
Right.
and then
And
it jumped to
so,
one-on-one. One's like
right.
one-on-one, but nothing as far bigger than that.
Right. And
Let's
so my
stop
issue
preaching.
for a long time was,
Catching
or
the
not my
spirit on him.
my it wasn't so much my issue. My thing was Xbox was the more family friendly console, and a network was more family friendly because you could be anywhere in the world, be able to sit down a game and maybe play two different games, but talk to a family member, talk to your people or whatever. That was just a way that you could connect with people outside of your cell
Yeah,
phone and this and that.
communicate. Yeah.
What?
And
Coming up out my
PlayStation
blanket. He got me coming up out my blanket.
PlayStation eventually got it, and when PlayStation got it, it was like the PS3 that I had, and I was like, "Whoa!" I'm sitting here talking to my partner in a party chat on the PlayStation. I'm like, "This is crazy," but
Yeah.
but
It was towards
play
the end, though.
Too little,
right,
too
Towards
play
late.
the end.
yeah, but this the thing. PlayStation folk have done so long without it that it's not even important. Like when I was trying to get into parties with my partners, they was like, "Well, what game are we playing?" Uh, we I'm just trying to holler at y'all, you know what I'm saying? So they didn't want to do that, you know what I'm saying? But so that's why I keep a PlayStation, but that's why I mean the Xbox to me has just always been the better one with the network and the party chat and this and that or whatever. But then
Mhm.
Back on him. Woo!
right, but
Sweating.
so now going to the Switch with the whole deal about all of this. My honest opinion is the Switch got a good thing going. I know there's some online stuff that they want to do, but I don't think that's really what they need to do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
I think it's
okay.
I think it's a console that for people that want a game on the go, but also don't want to sit in the house holding the game. Now you can put it up on your TV.
Right.
uh you can it's fully transferable. You could be playing on your flat screen, say, oh,
Hmm.
I'm about to go over to a friend house, just take that game, just pull it up out the deck and take it on with you. I think
Right.
that's great. I think it's great for kids and this and that because now it's got Hulu and YouTube and stuff like that on there or whatever, so they can do that
Yep.
Fortnite and stuff like that. um, but also, I just think it's a great party game console because Nintendo done a great job with all the Mario stuff and the party games and this and that. And I mean, people come over and we play Mario Kart, we play Mario Party,
Right.
stuff like that. I just think what that's their wheelhouse right now. Like they're gonna have great games on there. Like the Zelda game was a great game, or is a
Yep.
great game. But I mean, and I understand. Like, so what I was saying, like Smash Brothers, I know they want to be able to play that online and people this and that and all over the place. But I just don't think that's something that they gonna necessarily have to put a whole bunch into. I don't know. That's just me.
Can
I
Okay.
know
I
that's
jump in there?
I
I'm
know
on
that's where
fire.
Yeah.
everybody is
Yeah. Yeah.
going. Go ahead.
Jump
You
in.
gonna tag
Jump
me in,
in.
coach. Tag me in,
Yeah,
beware. Tag
tag,
me in. All
tag.
right. Going back to your point about Microsoft being a trendsetter is what I call it. And what do
Yeah,
they say about what's the saying about mimicking or it's the
yeah,
best form
yeah,
of
yeah.
flattery
Uh
or
huh.
what?
Yeah.
What is that?
Uh,
It's the best. Mimicking is the best
yeah,
form of flattery.
yeah. We're gonna leave it
Yeah.
at that. We
We'll
all
leave
know
it
what he's
at that.
talking about.
It's on the tip of my tongue, but going back to what you said, you hit it right on the head it was just private chat at first where you can only talk to one other person,
Mm,
and then they bumped it up to where you could have multiple people in the party chat. And man, I had it was on the tip of my tongue. You was making some great points, but let me just, if I could just put my CEO hat on for just a second, and I'm
Okay.
I'm a Nintendo exec, and I'm looking at both of these companies, right? Sony's at the top with in console sales, but not really doing the software. And I'm looking at Microsoft, right? And I'm thinking to myself, damn, Microsoft has put motherfuckers on notice, right? What do we know that they've always tried to do? They tried to be a trendsetter. They did it with Xbox
Right.
Live, these last, Xbox 360 and, the regular Xbox. I think what they're doing here now, right? They came out with Xbox One, they had the Connect. Nobody was
Mm-hmm.
doing that. Nobody was doing that the way they were doing. You could talk to your Connect, to power your stuff on. They
Mm-hmm.
went away from that, and then you seen, the Googles and the Echoes of the world come in. Remember, Microsoft introduced that first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then it
Yeah.
became popular, right? Trendsetter, right? But it just didn't
Right.
take off in our world, in the gaming world. The
Right.
technology isn't quite there, right? Then you
Right.
seen PlayStation do it with their VR, right? It's good, it's okay. I don't personally own it. I think it's out of my price point, but I could see what they tried to do.
Mm-hmm.
Circling back to the Nintendo exec, I'm looking over there at Microsoft, right? And I'm looking at Game Pass, right? What do we know is successful, right? We know that
Right.
Netflix rules the world, right?
Yeah.
We've seen Amazon try to come into that space. We've seen Hulu come into that space. And we're now starting to see all of these different companies try to jump into that Netflix space. But we know that Netflix is
Subscription
the
based.
top dog, subscription based, right?
Yes, sir.
We know that Nintendo and PlayStation aren't quite there. We know that now at this current juncture, Microsoft has turned it into an art. We see
Yeah.
every month a couple of games go out and a couple of games come in, right? And there's
Yep.
got to be some kind of kickback, right, for that subscription.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You put your game in, we got all this X amount of dollars that's guaranteed to come in from the subscription, right? We take our cut and then we disperse the rest out. What I what I think, me personally, is coming is Nintendo said we can't do that. We don't have the technology for that. Our platform isn't set up for that. We need
Right.
to put our product in that space. If I'm looking at these two mega companies, I'm saying, Sony, can you do that? No, you can't do that. You've tried. You had to eliminate your streaming service. Microsoft, okay, you're successful. Game Pass has now been active for X amount of months, almost a year
Mm-hmm.
now, I think, and it's
Yep.
successful. It's
Yep.
successful. I mean, I was looking at it earlier, and the new Tomb Raider's already in there. Tomb Raider just came out like 5 months ago. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking the partnership is going to work for both parties. If I'm Phil, I go to Nintendo and say, Nintendo, your network isn't where it needs to be. Everybody knows it's hideous. You know it's hideous. Let us help you. Let us help you. Let us help you. Let's partner up. Let's take your game library. Let's put some of those games in the Game Pass. In turn, we'll let you use our services so people can play the multiplayer experience games on our network, running smooth, running perfect. We already know this to be true because I can go in there right now and play with Nintendo Switch players on Rocket League, no problems. We know it to be true, so why not, open that ability up to your fan base? Let your
Right.
fan base play these multiplayer experiences on a network that functions properly, right? In exchange, all we
Yeah.
ask is you just put Super Mario Brothers in Game
Right.
Pass so everybody benefits. Now, if they do that, that's a problem for PlayStation. Use your PlayStation being forced. What you gonna do, Sony? What you gonna do? Let's go. I mean, we got Monster Hunter World, a game that it's a little tiny game, but you're starting to see the effect. These companies that are not Microsoft friendly are all of a sudden, you know,
they
what's
they
that
they
famous
they jumping.
that famous meme we like to see an old boy looking over his shoulder at that other girl walking down the street while holding his girl's hand. These other companies
Man.
are handcuffed to Sony, but they turning their head like, wait a minute now. Because at the end of the day, it's all about dollars and cents, right? You know,
Right.
one of my favorite YouTubers, his favorite phrase is "Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie." And at the
Numbers
end of the
don't.
day, if I gotta make this money, I'm gonna make this money over here because y'all ain't talking about no money over there. You just want
Right.
me to stay loyal to the brand, and that's, I'm just trying to look at it from a different way. If in fact it is true, that's the way I'm looking at it. It makes business sense. You know, I
Okay.
mean, I know I would love to see Zelda on on the Game Pass. If I seen that, I could use my Xbox controller. I
That
mean,
would be that.
it's just a pipe dream, though. You know, they said I wished as a young child that I could play a game like Anthem with friends once upon a time, and
Right.
look that happened. So I mean, who knows? I mean, it's just it looks to be the trend and the way things are going. Everything now is all about everybody being connected. You know, you look at the phones, we're in a group chat, we're sharing group texts. You know, I don't personally do it, but I know my son be group video chatting on his iPhone. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's a space for single player experiences and that alone time on a single station, but you know, the way that everything is trending, it's about shared experiences. So
Right.
I think that Nintendo knows that, and it goes back to what Coach said. Yes, some of those games on the Switch are party games, but you know, there's sometimes, you know, you can't play that type of party game with a bunch of friends. You know, why not try it over a network, over the
Right.
internet? So I think that may be in the works, but I would say be careful because, um, like I said, referring back to their flattery, Sony's watching. And they don't want to give up their market share. So I think if you go
Right.
back a couple of shows, I even said it, we have to be, Xbox fans, and I'm a loyal Xbox player. We have to be careful because, you know, you could see Sony come out with something that'd be even better. You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
And you know, I mean, like we said, Sony, Sony to me exclusives are becoming far and few in between that I actually want to play. I mean, God of War, um,
The Last of
Last
Us.
of Us. You know what I'm saying? Spider Man. Like I keep my PlayStation right now because I have Spider Man on it. And then if you're a sports person, MLB. If there was a baseball game on the Xbox, I'd be good on the
Right.
show. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But I
Right.
was gonna say this just to be funny. If Xbox Live is going to the Switch, if they for some reason pick up Game Pass on the Switch, I just want them to keep. I
Ooh.
just want them to keep Gears of War Judgment out of it.
You got to go to the Xbox and play that.
No, I don't even want to play Judgment. No, I
Oh,
don't want to
Judgment.
be. No, I hate
Judgment.
Judgment.
The game that shouldn't have existed.
I hate
No, that game should have
Judgment.
never existed. That was a money
Fucking
grab. I'll say that.
horde
Um,
mode.
so I kind of want to. I mean, since we're talking about exclusives, I kind of want to do something with you guys. I'm gonna call this segment "Skip, Drip, or Flip."
Oh
Basically,
man,
what I'm gonna be giving off
put some
a
time into
number.
this.
Yeah, I'm gonna give off a number of titles that are coming out or have already come out. We may have not discussed it or talked about it. So, Skip, of course, is a game that you don't want, that you're not gonna pay any attention to. Flip is a game that you might buy, but when it gets to a lower price, there's gonna be a lot of flips based on TJ, or I'm sorry, Legend. He's going to be flipping on a lot of games. And Drip is a game that you're going to probably buy either the first week it comes out or within a month of the game being dropped. Okay?
Flips,
So
drips, and
skip,
Flip, skip,
drip,
and drip.
or
skip, flip,
flip,
and drip.
drip, or
Yeah,
skip.
put some
Give us
time
the
in
lingo,
Sponsored,
Legend.
sponsored by Tim Wayne. Okay.
Hey. So I'm just gonna name off some titles, and you can either flip it, meaning you ain't gonna get it until it goes on sale. Skip it, meaning you're not
You about
interested,
to make
or
me
drip.
turn my face camera on for this. Let's go run it.
Let's go. Okay. So I'm gonna start with Dead or Alive 6.
Skip.
That came out March 1st, 2019. Legend.
That would be a skip.
That'll be a skip. That's gonna be a flip for me. I'm a fighting game type of guy, so that would be that'd be a flip. I'll wait till that goes on sale on the Xbox Live.
Can we pause on that real quick about that game? I just want to add this. I don't know if it's true or not, and maybe you can tell me. Maybe you can go find out now since you're a fighting game guy, and I don't really give those fighting games a glance when they first come out. But I thought I heard someone say on that game, it's free to play for one or two characters, and then you have the option to buy more characters, kind of like the Killer Instinct deal. So if they did that,
super skip.
That right there that's pretty cool if they did that for the fighting fans out there. But that's all I want to say.
That is true. They did it for Dead or Alive 5, and they're doing it again. Okay, so we got two skips and a flip. All right, so March 8th, 2019, Devil May Cry drops for the Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Skip, drip, or flip?
I don't have enough time to go back and play the other four, so I'm gonna skip it.
Legend.
That one actually looks really good visually.
It does.
That might be a flippity flip for your boy.
So you're gonna wait till that gets to $20 before you buy that. Okay, I got you.
Or it shows up on Game Pass. Then I'll be.
Or it shows up on Game Pass, which is it could 4 or 5 months from now. I think honestly, if it comes out within the first 5 or 6 months and it doesn't move numbers like Devil May Cry normally do, I could definitely see that on Game Pass. All right, let's move on to the Division 2 that drops on March 15th for the PS4, Xbox, and PC. That's a drip for me.
That's a drip, and I'm actually thinking about buying $250 version off their website.
We already know this. When that watch go orange, you know what time it is.
Drip so sick, you got to go to the doctor.
Yeah. Okay, so we got March 22nd. We got Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Now, this was a game that a lot of people talked about at E3 last year, but we didn't see a lot of it. So
skip to my Lou on that motherfucker.
Oh, baby. I second that.
Yo, I don't want to be mean, man. Go ahead.
No,
I'll let y'all
mean,
both go, then I'll come back in.
Some of that I don't even know about. I mean, so skip.
All right. So we gonna go
the only game like that I know about is Afro Samurai. So that's the only one I'm
which
looking
was a great
for.
game, by the way.
It was, but the rest of that I'm good.
Well, if it's in the red box, I'll give it a shot. And I always speak about giving these new titles a chance and supporting those games, and it's just a TJ-ism, as Gamer would say. You're not tricking me, bro.
Y'all are not completers.
It's tense shoot. He does say something. listen, that man, he's not here to defend himself. We don't want to go too hard on Westbrook tonight. We'll let him. We'll let him go. He a maniac. He a maniac. But
listen, that's gonna be a flip for me, man. I'm gonna wait to see how that looks. I'm gonna check it out.
It's Tenshu. It's the Tenshu assets.
But I enjoyed Tenshu. So we're gonna move to April. We're not gonna go too far down the line here because there's still a whole bunch of games that are coming out. But April 23rd, you already know what's coming out. April 23rd is Mortal Kombat 11, and that is a super drip for me.
Yeah. Next game.
That's a skip.
I just can't do the fight games. I mean, I'm doing UFC right now because it was in EA Access,
in the vault.
And it's just something so aggressive about it once you figure it out that you just You had a bad day. You feel real good after a couple of rounds.
Okay, so we're gonna go to April 26th, 3 days later for the PS4. We got Days Gone. This is a game we've been waiting for a minute, and it's finally here. You gonna flip, drip, or skip?
I it would have to be a flip for me, and I'd have to be in a very adventurous mood. Like, man, let me buy another just random game for my PlayStation. Because if I'm gonna buy anything for the PlayStation, it's gonna be Last of Us 2.
Ooh, okay, okay. Legend, how you feel?
And I keep on picking up the Yakuza games. Like, I wanna play this, but I can't do it. I can't do it.
Man, I think it's gonna be I think a flip for me too, man.
You gonna wait till it goes on sale, huh?
Yeah, just because, if it's as good as everybody says, gaming is timeless, my favorite thing to say. If it's
Yeah.
great one day and it'll be great another day, especially when it comes to a single player
Right.
experience.
And how
So
many ways can we do zombies?
hey man, all
Hey
right, man. Give
man,
me Left
hey
for Dead
man.
3, bro. That's the way to do it.
Left for Dead 3. Okay, so I got like two more titles here. I kind of want to see where I'll go with this. This is actually pretty funny. So I don't even want to mention this game, but we're gonna go to we're still gonna stay we're gonna go to the month of May. It's getting a little scarce here, but I got Sonic Team Racing on May 21st.
I saw a video for that, man. What's more than skip?
Super skip. You can super skip
Yeah,
it.
yeah, man. I'm jogging. Yeah,
Whoa.
man. I mean, I just talk,
Be
I just
Weezy jogging. I'm sprinting,
yeah, I
nigga.
just talked about the party games on the Switch. I got Mario Party. I mean, I just want Sonic to run and collect coins. I don't need him in a car.
Yeah.
Oh man, come on, man. TJ, you not gonna go ahead and get that? You're not gonna
I'm
pick that up?
Be Weezy's jogging. I'm sprinting. Sprinting.
Okay.
It's a sprint.
I'd rather go get
Uh,
Sparrow.
Oh man, come on,
Go
man.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna end it with this one. I'm gonna end it with this last game here. I think I remember seeing a couple of y'all play this, maybe not you two, but I definitely remember seeing somebody play this within our team. And Rage 2 is coming out May 14, 2019. Flip, drip, or skip.
I think that's a. I think that's a. I think that game will be a drip for me. I think I'll buy that day
Really?
one. Yeah, I will. I. I
Rage?
think. I think it's got my board. It's got to give me that Borderlands scratch, man.
Yeah, it
I think
does.
it's gonna
Yeah.
be on that level.
Post-apocalyptic. You got the tumble. You running through dry and desert lands, and you
Yeah,
just yeah,
that game.
crazy hair.
That game has some potential. Some weird characters, some great voice acting, like my girl in Borderlands 2. What was her name? The little young one. I can't remember.
Oh yeah. I can't remember her name. It was like Abigail or something.
Something crazy like that,
I
man.
can't
Yeah,
remember neither. I
yeah,
I I gotta go back and play the first one. I've been seeing a lot of it, and
yeah.
it looks intriguing. But that's just me. I don't like to come in on the back end like with Mass Effect Andromeda. I played the first Mass Effect and I played it like hardcore, like for a minute, just to say that I played it so I could understand it. And I can't, like
Take
when
that
you,
Okay.
gamer.
yeah,
Take
when,
that gamer. I'm not the only one. That's not a TJ ism.
yeah. I
Take
mean,
it.
I just can't jump in. Like when you said Devil May Cry 5 earlier, I ain't played 1 through 4, so I ain't
Well,
got
they
no
have the
choice.
collection. They have the collection available 1 through 3. That's
Oh man,
$20.
that's just
And they
like
also
Hitman.
have
Hitman had a collection. I played 1 and 2, and I said, okay, I'm done sniping.
The character's name in Borderlands 2, Tiny Tina.
Yes, Tiny
Tiny Tina.
Tina. Yes.
And she would say some off the wall shit, man. But okay. Well, that was the last game of that I had for me. That's probably gonna be a flip. Um it might even be a skip. I believe it is first person shooter. So you know how I feel about first person shooters. I need to see the whole guy. That's just my thing. Um I don't do well with first person shooters, so that's probably gonna be a skip for your boy. So now that we've gotten past that, it's getting pretty late. Does anybody have anything that they would like to address or say about, in the video game industry, or have any other gripes that they like to get off their chest before we close it out?
I mean, I think we're good, man. I think we started up a little late and it feels good. I'm not going to say anything about the next show. I'm going to just let it happen organically.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
really good. I enjoyed the conversation. I'm pretty sure when we go back and listen, we're going to be laughing. But that's all I have. Shout out to the community for listening. And
Yeah.
you can get at your boy at thereallegend4@gmail.com. Shout out at me, get at me, or hit me up on Xbox Live at the Legend 4. That's all I got, man. How about you, fellas?
Be easy.
Man, it's just good to be back, man. I was gone for a little bit, with work and all, but it's good to be back and to talk this stuff through with you guys, man. And my gamer tag be Weezy512. I'll let
Man, put a
And
smile on my face. Go ahead, big fella.
as always, I'm Tim Wayne across all platforms. Tim Wayne, of course, on the Xbox and Twitter. If you want to talk video games, feel free to holler at me. Do not jump in my DMs asking me how to fix your Apex Legends because you have connection issues. Do not do that because I will refer you to EA. I've had a couple of those. Had a couple of guys hit me up about NBA Live and YG and the church stocks and the dress shoes and NBA Live.
No,
Do not hit me up.
Funny.
Do not hit me up about that.
He's sliding in the pavement in the church shoe?
He in the
Can you
church
do
shoes.
that?
Hey,
don't
but
want
wait,
me.
but
Your
wait till
toes
you
would
try
be
to put
toe up.
wait till you try to put Creamy Bigums in a different uniform other than his arms. He gonna be straight picked out, no shirt. It's a glitch. It's messed up. But yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Hey, all you
so-
Anthem people out there, make sure you stop flying all the time and make sure you harvest. Your stuff that you need is
man.
right there underneath you.
Yeah, stay out the air. Sometimes you got to hit the ground. You know what I'm saying? I know we all want to soar like eagles, but sometimes you need to get on the ground.
Listen to the people in the party with you and the squad with you. Stop asking the same damn questions over and over.
Oh man, I know this is gonna take a left turn. I'm trying to close this thing out. Listen, people, we've given you all of our contact information. Hopefully, we will be back next week. I think this was a really good. I think this is a really good topic of discussion, especially Anthem. I think we'll have way more to talk about. I think that EA and BioWare are going to invest a lot more into this game than people think. I don't think this is a cash grab at all. I think EA really cares about this game, and I think we will see that within the upcoming updates within the game that are slated to come out this month and in future months ahead of us. That's all I got for today, guys. I just want you guys to remember the dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately. RIP, my man Sean Adams.
Already. Hawk, holla at your boy. Gamer, holla at your boy. Tim, we got to change my gamer picture, man. Everybody gonna think I work for EA, dog. This is not good.